Alright, so I've got a restring video to do today. This is an LTD. And this is one of those really cool George Lynch kind of models. And it needs a setup. We can see that the Floyd is down way too tight. And the strings on here feel really dirty. So let's throw it on the bench and put new strings on. This video is brought to you by Swiss Picks. It's not just a pick. It's a science. Available at ZIMM'S Guitars or at www.swisspicks.com. Okay, so yeah, let's put some new strings on this thing. Get it set up. Some of you guys might be asking, hey Dane, what model is that? Well, this is the ESP LTD George Lynch Burnt Tiger. And this is one of only 330 of these things were made. And back here on the back of the headstock, it says, designed by Mr. Scary. So, cool sort of neck plate right here. It's got a little engraving in it of like a bull. George Lynch. So, what a shredder. Here's how I'm going to start on this thing, though. Is I think I'm going to start by loosening these springs a little bit back here. Okay. Then I'm going to grab the whammy bar that's over here in the case still. And then I have the trem blocker. And I'm going to lift this Floyd up and I'm going to put that trem blocker right there. And that's how I'm going to start this whole restring. Now that bridge is lying level. It's lying flat right where you want it. So now I can take these strings off of here. So this guitar is a customer's restring, and I asked him, hey, can I have permission to make a YouTube video out of this? He said, yeah, that'd be cool. So a lot of times I ask permission from the customer if they mind that their guitar is going out on the interwebs. So I think if I just loosen these up right here, we can get these strings to come right on out, and then I'll snug it back down a little bit just to make sure that the little block doesn't fall out. So looks like we've got a Seymour Duncan in there. I didn't do the specs to know exactly what Seymour Duncan in there that is in there, but George has a couple different Seymour Duncan pickups, and this is most likely one of those. Leave it in the comments what pickup you guys think that is. Alright, so whoever's stringing this up, I'm gonna murder them because this has a locking nut. But they've taken the string and they wrapped it around a couple times and then they ran it back through. And for a guitar that has a locking nut, that is 100% unnecessary. I love it when I'm watching Dave's World of Fun Stuff and somebody's done that, and the way he gets all mad about it and everything, it's kind of fun. But yeah, a couple of these are, they're pretty much just knotted in there. It is annoying. Yeah, it's annoying, that's for sure. But I'm definitely not going to let it ruin my day. I'll just sit here and bite on them and chew on them with my pliers for a while. There goes that one. There we go. Okay, and since we're down here, let's go ahead, and I have a 10 millimeter open end wrench that I snug the tuners down with. Okay. Now I'm going to take my camera and show you guys. Here's what's fun about this guitar. So if we look at the condition of the frets, we can see right here on the first couple of frets, there doesn't seem to be any fret wear. And you can see that he's been kind of playing it up in here, but the area on this neck, okay, careful with my camera work now, is all right here, where this dude that owns this thing just sits here and just shreds on this thing, and it's all right up in this neighborhood is where this guy has been shredding. Look at where the wear is. So that's what these guitars are meant for. They're meant for lead guitar playing. Yeah, they're meant to be shredded on. Let's take a real close look just for a second at what I'm gonna guess the radius of this fingerboard is. That's a 10 right there. This one says 12. It looks like a 12. Could it be a 14? I'm gonna guess that's a 14 radius right there. That seems like that fits on there nice and tight. So most likely 14-inch radius, so it's nice and flat. And it's what those shredder guys love. Okay, so I'm gonna clean the fretboard a little, but I'm not gonna go over the top on this. Just gonna wipe some of the dirt off the frets. It's a lot on there. Look at this. So this is some of my Dunlop 65. Spray a little bit of that on there. I will hit these frets like this. Now usually you guys see me take out, you know, a little piece of some wet dry 1000 grit sandpaper and hit these frets. This guitar doesn't need that. These frets will shine up. Fret ends feel perfect on this. Just trying to get a little bit off of the fretboard and to make the frets look nice and clean. Nothing crazy on this one. It's not one of my normal guitar resurrection videos where the guitar has been so overplayed and everything. And this is just a basic restring kind of setup on this one, okay? So let me go ahead and I can wipe this off. I see that the front of the pickup is dusty right here. I'll try to hit a little bit of that. And we're ready for strings. So roll the string jingle. Ernie Ball 9's going on this thing. Nine through 42s. Our A string is a 32 gauge. Fretboard acoustic strings, 20% off of Rocksmith lessons. No, we're going to pass on the Rocksmith lessons. And then finally, our high E string is a 9 gauge. Okay, so let's throw a tuner on here and we'll get this thing somewhere in the neighborhood. Okay, now the trim blocker is just barely hanging in there, so we can just go ahead and get that out of the way. So now we're close to being in tune, and our Floyd is lying pretty flat. It's raising up a little bit. Stretching on the strings a little tiny bit. Making sure that they are seated in that bridge perfectly and they're not going to fly out of there. Sometimes when these Floyd Rose, the blocks that are in there, when they start to get old, sometimes they don't hold the strings very well. But this is a relatively new guitar, and I don't think it's had many restrings. Okay, the battery's dead in there, but I have the rechargeable snare. We're going to use that one, see how it goes. Okay, it's close, and our bridge is looking really good. Okay, now let's do this thing. Let's go here on this bridge and let's back out all the fine tuners on here so that we have a lot of room for tuning. They're already backed out. There's not much length in them. You have to be sort of close already. That one's already sort of maxed out all the way out. So that's about all we can do there. George Lynch was such a monster player. That's the thing, when you retune guitars for a living, it gives you a chance to experiment with so many cool guitars. Swiss picks. Available at ZIMM'S Guitars. But yeah, it gives you a chance to play different models, and so it's overall a fun job. I highly recommend it if you guys can get a job restringing guitars all day. The bridge looks nice. Let's take a look at the neck. Now I have my notched straight edge, and these are available on Amazon. And if you look, there's a link in the description below. It's my Amazon link. If you want to buy anything on Amazon, it helps support the channel a little tiny bit if you buy something after clicking on my link. So this is a long scale guitar, and I'm just going to set it in here. Then we're just going to see if we have any gap underneath here. And there's a ton of gap. Alright, so we're going to tighten this truss rod. And that's pretty much going to throw our tuning off, but it's going to make this guitar play really nice. So let me get in here and see if this wrench is going to fit, and it does. And this is really loose. Alright, so the important thing is to make sure that you have the correct wrench that's in here, the correct one, the right size. And this thing is just dangling in there. There it's starting to snug a little bit. I do have all my strings are kind of in the way, but I can work around it. Now it's starting to snug a little bit. Yep, so just tighten this, and it was so loose. Okay. Going to take my notched straight edge again, and we'll look at it one more time. Now, just after tightening up that much, it looks perfectly flat. So I think we're done there. Alright, let's just check the tuning a little bit here now. So tightening the truss rod's going to make everything go sharp. But this thing is going to be so shreddy. It makes me honestly want to be a better guitar player when a guitar like this comes in. Because in the band that I'm in, I'm a bass player. Nobody cares about bass players. But I still get to be in a band. Pretty darn close right there. Now I'm going to go ahead and set these locking nuts back in place. And I'm not going to tighten them down yet though. I'm just going to sit here and play the guitar and just kind of let it set for a few minutes. I got other customers in the store. There's a couple other things I can do for a few minutes, and then I'll come back to it and I'll recheck the tuning. And before the customer comes back to pick this thing up, I will recheck this tuning, you know, 2 or 3 times before he comes back in. Okay, so here it is next day, and I took it back out of its case and I'm just playing it and listening a little bit, and since it's had a whole 24 hours to set, I've noticed that it's starting to fret out now here at the first fret. So I'm gonna say that I got the truss rod a little bit too tight. So I'm going to just do a little adjustment here to loosen this thing back up. Now I want it to be super low action, super shreddy, but it can't be fretting out. So let's just loosen that a little bit. Try it right there. There we go. Let's see what that does. So hopefully now that's going to be nice and very well playable. Little tiny bit of relief in the neck, hardly any. So I'm going to give it a little bit more because We're in Arizona and it's the heat of the summer. And you never know what it's going to do. Because my customer, he'll pick this up and he'll have to put it in his car and drive it all the way out to where he lives, and you never know what the heat's going to do to it. So hopefully he'll have a good air conditioner in his car. You can't survive without AC in Arizona in the summertime, but hopefully it'll be nice now for him. Alright, there it is. It's all tuned up. Got great action. Hoping my customer will be happy with his setup. Thank you guys for watching. But you have a great day. Goodbye, guitar.